today we have a local gentleman, Bruce Taft, who'd like to tell you a little bit about his experience.
I expected to come down and talk for an hour, and they told me I had 5 minutes, because I could talk for 3 hours. I sat here and thought about what was important today, and I wanted to tell you about my first day with AIDS, that first day. Some of the people in here have heard this before, but I was working construction. I was over living in Bennington, and I had a car accident. And I woke up in the hospital, and the doctor walked in. He was a family doctor, and he had never treated an AIDS patient. And he walked in, and he said, "You have AIDS, and you're going to die in 6 months," and walked out. And apparently they called my employer, and he walked in and gave me my check and said, "They called us and said you have AIDS, you're fired." And my mother walked in and said, "They called us and told us you're dying, and what are you going to do?" And at that time they had another AIDS project, which is no longer an AIDS project, and 2 elderly gentlemen showed up, and they had suits and red ties, and I thought they were undertakers. And they told me that they had a hospice program, and they had a funeral program, and they talked all of that. And in any case, they sent me to Albany Medical Center, and down there they had doctors that were knowledgeable. And one of the doctors, her name was Christine, and her husband was a medicine man, a Native American medicine man. I was kind of practicing that spirituality, and he said something that was life-changing, life-altering. And he asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, "I don't know, I'm dying. What am I going to do? Forget about a house, forget about Miss America, And he said, "How did you feel 3 weeks ago?" I said, "I felt fine. I was going to work, and, full of hope." And he said, "So what's changed?" And the only thing that changed in my life was the information. They told me I was dying. And from that point on, I decided, well, guess what? I'm going to go on the information that I give myself. And I'm going to live. And the miracle is that in September, I turned 60 years old. They told me... That doctor that told me I was going to be dead in 6 months, 20 years ago, sent me a card and said, "So glad that he was wrong." And not only that, he said, "I've learned to ask questions. I've learned never to tell somebody that they're dying." And that's important. The second thing that is probably harder for me to talk about is the gratitude that I live in. They got a banner up here that says, "Standing in love." I stand in gratitude. I look around this room, I can see all the people that have helped me in some way or another. On Tuesday, Marguerite told me I was a pain in the butt. Debbie Jones called me this morning to make sure that I was taking my meds, because I kind of stopped doing them every once in a while. I can go into Cindy and just say, "Hey, I got a problem, this and that, blah, 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 I need cat food." And somehow it always happens. I've known Susan before I came to this town. I met her a long time ago when I was a kind of crazy, they called me Loose Cannon Bruce. I wanted to fire cannonballs at everybody, even my friends. And, I can go on and on and on. I see Howard here. At one time, I had some problems. He said, "Come over and I'll give you a massage. I'll take care of your back." It's been a long time since I've seen Michael Fannin, and I can go on with this. John over there, he's become my therapist. I think he knows it. But he helps me with my cognitive thinking. So I've had milestones this year. In January, Marguerite talked about substance abuse. In January, I'll celebrate 16 years of continuous sobriety. My dilemmas today are some of the dilemmas that most of the people with this virus thing. I choose to work for a living. I'm on Social Security disability. I work part-time. But if I make $1 over the limit, I get kicked off. So I always have to juggle. Because I choose to work, I don't get Medicaid, and I don't get food stamps and any of the services. I'm not eligible for that. I get kicked off because my income is like $50 too high. So it's a struggle at times. I came down to the project this morning. Marguerite's laughing because I feed all the cats in the neighborhood and I ran out of cat food. You know, so I said, I need some help. You know, I got to get hard stuff, hard cat food.
Don't you tell them we're feeding the cats in the
Oh.
neighborhood.
All these cats have AIDS. They told me. But you know, it's like so many things. You know, I've gone over the last 20 years. I was telling Marguerite about the losses, you know, the friends that I've lost and the people that I've lost. But at the same time, I have this gratitude because without having this disease, I would have never gotten sober. I would have never met a Shirley. You know, how would I met Shirley if I didn't get sober? You know, if I didn't have this virus and didn't come to this town. You know, and that's what this is about. We talk about community, building a community. That's what the PWA Coalition talks about, building community. And I have community here. You know, everyone says, well, why would you come here and, you know, in this little town and talk about AIDS in Africa? Because they're our community too. You know, it's bigger than just here in Brattleboro. This is bigger, because if we can make one step anywhere, you know, it's big stuff. And that's the whole thing. Hopefully, you know, like when I walk around, because I'm involved in everything, I can't keep my mouth shut. You know, I go to Twin States and I do things and do some of the videos and I don't care. I have a poster that's up in, okay, the timekeeper says shut up. I have a poster now that's up in Burlington. And it's got my picture and it's for the AIDS Project. It says I have AIDS, but it's down there, it says I work, I pay taxes, I vote. And that makes me the same as everybody else. Thank you.